prisoner simply folded a magazine, only to be mercilessly mocked by his cellmate. To think he could escape using just a magazine, what a wild idea. The man, however, didn't care at all. He simply tucked the folded magazine into his sleeve, ignoring the mockery. His arrogant attitude instantly angered the cellmate, but all he received in return was a disdainful look. At that moment, the guard came to do a room check. The man turned his back to the cell door as instructed and allowed the guard to cuff him like usual. The guard didn't even realize that due to the magazine, the man easily slipped his hand free. As soon as the guard opened the door, the man locked his hands around the guard's neck. A moment later, the guard stopped breathing. The man quickly unlocked the other cuff and stripped off the guard's bulletproof vest. The cellmate who had been mocking the man earlier was terrified by the sudden turn of events. After slipping out of the cell, the man didn't rush to leave. Instead, he hung upside down on a pipe near the ceiling of the hallway, patiently waiting for another guard to open the door. He blocked the gap with his hand, then successfully passed through another iron door. What he did next was even more legendary. First, he knocked out a janitor with his bare hands, then hid in a corner and ambushed the guards who came to help using pepper spray. He created a false trail of escape, and the guards in the control room fell for it. They immediately dispatched a large group of guards to pursue him. However, when they arrived, armed to the teeth, they found the area empty. Meanwhile, the man had calmly moved on to another section of the prison. Using the bulletproof vest's insulation properties, he successfully scaled the barbed wire and escaped from the prison. Another prisoner's escape plan was even more unbelievable. He managed to escape with nothing but a letter. He whispered something in his cellmate's ear, and suddenly the cellmate lost control, viciously beating him. The reason the man deliberately angered the cellmate was that the cellmate was responsible for delivering prison mail. He swapped out one of the letters and then pushed the mail cart to the warden's office. To distract the guard, the man kept talking, complaining about the cellmate who had just beaten him. The swapped letter was successfully delivered to the warden, who, upon opening it, was immediately stunned. It was clearly a threatening letter, with an unknown powder mixed in. The suspicious warden immediately called for the guards, and the quarantine department arrived to seal off the entire prison. They carefully handled the powder with special equipment, unaware that it was just baking soda. At that moment, the man crouched in the corner, hands on his head. Taking advantage of the chaos and the guard's distraction, he secretly grabbed a box and quickly sneaked into a storage room. The box contained professional protective gear. He put on the gear, donned a gas mask, and disguised himself as a professional epidemic control worker. He unscrewed the ventilation duct and climbed inside. The two guards outside were completely unaware. The man kicked open the vent above them, startling the guards. But the man stayed calm and claimed that the virus had entered the ventilation system and that the area was dangerous. The guards, believing him, quickly evacuated. Seizing the opportunity, the man strolled out of the prison with no hesitation. The next prisoner, however, was even more insane.